basketball guys have blessed us with the game that we wanted, the game that we deserved. Big shots in the building. Germ is in the building. Travis in the building. Jay Ham will be coming back. Special guest coach Les in the building. Hey, 94 feet of pregame show. Fellas, let's get right into it, man. We'll do the politics on the social media at the end. Undefeated Gonzaga, Baylor, the two best teams in the country. Les, I'm going to bring you in first. We treat our guests right first. I'm getting the guests in first. Just what you got, man?
This is giving me '08 vibes right now. When this is giving me '08 vibes so much right now, because back in 2008, Memphis and Kansas were the best two teams in the country. A lot of people argue certain, UCLA and others, but they were the best two teams in the country. Memphis had a dynamic freshman guard, Derrick Rose. Gonzaga has a dynamic freshman guard, Jalen Suggs. Kansas was big, beefy, grimy, great guard play. Baylor, great guard play, beefy, goons on that basketball court. Let me specify that. Mm-hmm. Like this is giving me '08 vibes. I'm definitely feeling like that. So for me, I'm excited. I'm really excited for this game.
I will tell you this, Coach Les. I'm gonna bring Trav back in. I can't think of a national title game. It might be 2008 as I sit here and think about it, that I was actually this excited for. Apart from the fact that we didn't have a tournament last year, but these are the clear two best teams in the country, and it's not close. Trav, president of the Tang Gang, Mississippi chapter. Talk to us, man. Let's get into a little bit of X and O's, man. Baylor versus Gonzaga. What should the heads be looking for in this matchup?
For Gonzaga, you're gonna see a lot of ball movement. You're gonna see a lot of ball. You're gonna see a lot of player movement. You're going to see they're gonna shoot that ball. They're gonna shoot it. They're looking to score every possession. I mean, that's the game of basketball. But Gonzaga is averaging over 85 points a game. Over 85 points a game. Baylor is all about the 95%. It's all about the 95%. When I talked about this earlier, we had a show a couple of days ago, and I was saying the 95% is not what you do with the ball. It's what you're doing without the ball that you can affect the game off of. That is what Baylor, you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of that. And boy, oh boy, we got a matchup with the dynamic freshman with the number 45 for Baylor. Sign me up right now at 8:20 Central Standard Time. You're going to see that. It's going down. I'm ready for it. Big shot, I'm ready for it.
I think, and Germ, we're going to bring you in. First of all, shout out to the fact that Germ survived the weekend at Bernie's this past weekend. You know what I'm saying? AKA the senior reunion weekend at Bernie's. But I agree with you, Trav. I think the Suggs versus Mitchell, Suggs versus Butler, can't forget Jay Ajayi, the other guard from Kansas, throw him in there too. I think that's going to be a dynamic matchup with Germ. This is what we were waiting on. The two best teams in the sport. Talk to me from Baylor Gonzaga.
These are two of the three teams that we talked about at the beginning of the year. One of them was, of course, we talked about the Zag team. We talked about Baylor from Jump Street. It was like, hey, These folks play grown man basketball. This ain't none of that other stuff. This ain't none of that playground BS that you see from these college squads. This squad, they come to win. And most importantly, man, I'm here for this matchup for two reasons, man. Guard play. That's number one. These guards, they know how to force tempo. They know how to enforce tempo. That means you a 10-point lead on these two teams don't feel like a 10-point lead. It feels like 2 or 3 because of the way they can push the tempo. And enforcing tempo, meaning they keep you running all night long. You will defend 94 feet. It is, you will, when one of these guards go down there and get a rebound, we off to the races. Let's go. Let's see if we can get an easy basket. If we can't, we're going to pull it out and we're going to run something. So I'm here for that. Ball movement. I'm looking forward to this ball movement tonight. Man movement, all the good stuff that Trav talked about. Baylor got one of the coldest things going right now with the 95%. Only 5% logic I know of is coming from Wu-Tang, and they wasn't half bad either. Give it to them. Give it to them.
I look at this team, and Coach Les, we're going to bring you back in. So I think if you look at what Baylor can do, Baylor can play, not that Gonzaga can. We've seen Baylor get in rock fights. We've seen Baylor get in shootouts. We've seen Baylor play the game slow. We've seen Baylor get sped up, and they've come out no matter what. So, Lester, we talked about guard play a lot. So let's kind of get into that. Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell. They also have Flagger. They have Flagger. They have T. Like, they just have this plethora of backcourt play. They could play so many different combinations. What do Baylor guards do so well on both ends?
They execute. They execute their defensive game plan. They execute what they're doing on offense. They execute and they play at a very high level, and they play hard, and they play connected. You get what I'm saying? They play connected. That's why you have the multiple All-Americans in their backcourt, because they play off each other. They play together. It's beautiful to see, because it's not like, oh, Jared Butler, it's my turn. And then, Davion mentioned, okay, it's my turn. It's like, no, it's our turn. It's our turn to win. It's our turn to score. So it's never about, he's about to take over. It's basically about, no, we're going to take what's given to us, and we're going to execute, and we're going to stay together no matter what. We so connected. They're so good on the defensive end because they're connected to each other. Mm-hmm. And they let the defense create the offense, and they're so skilled. Like, the way they play basketball, and like you just said, they've been in shootouts, rock fights, any game kind of imaginable. They're prepared for any kind of game. Like, if Gonzaga wants to get into the hundreds, Baylor's ready to get into the hundreds. Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell is going to lead the way. And then the unsung hero is Mr. Mullet, Matthew Mayer. I love watching him play. And it's just like, he's kind of in that guard rotation, that big rotation. It's very, it's so different. So now I'm excited. Like I said, this has been a long time coming. This has been we deserve this game as basketball fans. I'm taking my coach hat off, and as a fan of basketball, it's like I've been happy all day. I've been, I'm preparing for a game. We prepare for a game on Thursday, so we can get into, so we could try to get to the national tournament. And I'm like, we in practice. I'm like, man, hey, y'all watching the game? The game, come on tonight, right, man. And coaches, other coaches, they sitting here like, hey, we trying to get an hour and 30 so we can be able to go grab us some food. So it's like a Christmas. It's like Christmas,
You know what? It'll bring Jay Ham back to the conversation. Brad and I had this conversation on Saturday offline. Like, we never got Kobe and LeBron in the finals. We haven't gotten Kentucky and Duke in the national championship game. Like, so many things we were like just short of getting. And finally, we get the matchup we actually deserve and want. J-Ham, I'm gonna bring you back in. We'll talk a little bit about Gonzaga. We talked about Gonzaga. The offensive efficiency is through the roof. They're undefeated. They haven't really had. I mean, they were challenged by UCLA, but I wouldn't say they was like a bump in the road. I think UCLA just played really well, but they've met every challenge they've had this year. Talk to me, J-Ham, a little bit about Gonzaga on their end. What has made them this juggernaut all year with no losses?
Ooh, really, man. I think it goes back to just it's this game in general has two stories. It's two tales on each side. You got the Baylor end, that's the redemption end from what that tragedy that happened in 2003 that led to Scott Drew getting his job to begin with. And then you push it back to 2000, which is when Mark Few took over the Gonzaga job. Was it 99? It was 99.
Somewhere around there.
Right. After Dan Munson, because they went to the Elite Eight. That was Dan Munson. And then he went to Minnesota. Then after Clem Haskins got fired, Mark Few takes it. And then we see the Dan Dickows, Blake Steps, J.P. Batista, Adam Morrison, Jeremy Pargo. We've seen this mid-major program become a national brand. 4 years ago, they played in this same spot, Monday night, against a power, against probably the power of powers. No offense to my Kentucky guys and my Duke legacy as a fan, but they went against North Carolina. Came up short. And remember that night, Big Shot, you said it at the half. I think Gonzaga blew this one in the first half. Blown opportunities, missed layups. They continued to keep building. We saw the team with Achimura and Brandon Clark and those guys come up short in the 19 tournament. Mark Few's assembled the best crew that he's ever got. They click on all cylinders. They average at 92 points a game. They got an All-American at point guard. They got about 3 or 4 dudes who are going to make money playing this game. It's real simple. It's like Les covered it pretty much, just even off of what I was coming in on the back end of that. I'm so damn excited about it. I don't really have words for it, man.
I'm telling you.
We supposed to get this one on my birthday. And I remember being in the Metro PCS store, getting me a horn, and I think Trav sent the message, either Trav or MJ sent the message in and said, yo, they cancel Gonzaga Baylor. My whole day went to shit. Because I didn't want to watch SEC football. I knew Alabama was going to win that. But I think they said this is the 5th time since the AP poll has been factored into this that we got the number 1 and number 2 AP team from start to finish playing in this title game. And I think we probably in our lifetime, we probably seen 3 or 4 of those.
Man,
so
you talk about the 2 teams, 115-8 combined the last 2 seasons. Like they have 2 of the winningest programs the last couple of years. And I think to your point, Ham, this is like the buildup. This has been the buildup for like years for both these programs building.
Right.
This point, Gonzaga, this is the best team they've had to me.
Ever.
Baylor, this is the best team they've had
ever.
And they meet on this day. It's going to be beautiful. Some more individual matchups. I want to definitely bring Les Trav back into it. We talked about the guard play, but there's a matchup up front that to me, you talk about yin and the yang. That's Big Mark Vidal and Drew Timme, who can't be any more different. You got Drew Timme, just 1988, up and under, post game. He's going about 10 miles an hour. And speaking of that, I'm gonna finish this point, and then we got a guest live from Planet X, main man MJ. MJ, man, I'm gonna bring you in right now, man. We just talking about how great this matchup is, bro. Talking about Baylor's front court,
Yeah.
Gonzaga's front court. I'm gonna let you get situated, but Trav, Bless, jump either
Oh
one of
no,
y'all jump in. Timmy versus Vidal up front, and also Gonzaga's front court versus Baylor's front court.
Man, again, man, I like it. I like it. I don't think. I think my guy, the big guy with the headband, is gonna guard Timmy a little bit more than Vital. But as far as the front court, I'm really looking forward to seeing if Kispert is going to guard number 31. What's that, Teague?
Teague, yeah.
That Teague? That's the matchup I really want to see right there. They match up perfectly. I'm talking about as far as their height, their size, the way they play. That's the one I want to see. Timmy is gonna get hit. Get ready for that. That's like a jogging 18, like you said. So jogging 18 gonna come on. But I think that big guy, he can hold his own if he don't get in foul trouble. If not, they're gonna sub the other one, number 23 from Baylor. They're gonna do something. Vital gonna do Vital. Vital gonna do Vital. I keep saying Vital gonna do Vital.
Right.
I don't know why. But the matchup I really want to see is 31 T versus Chris. That's the one I really want to see.
Now, MJ, he's gonna come back to us. You talk about, again, a front court matchup. One of the things that we've seen in this tournament, fellas, I think has been not necessarily that foul trouble has mattered, but you have guys, Leskin, you can speak to this as a coach. When foul trouble does happen, you get guys who are normally a 6th, 7th, 8th guy now playing in big spots. And the coach, I'm gonna bring you back in. And then MJ, I'm gonna see if we can get you back in through the restaurant. In that situation, when you get into foul trouble and you're playing a 6th, 7th, 8th guy on your bench in that big spot, who does that favor in this matchup, Baylor or Gonzaga? If we're talking about going into the bench in a big situation.
I say Baylor because Baylor runs about 9 deep. You know, and I mentioned them earlier when we were talking about the guard play with Matthew Mayer. So I mean they go about 9, 10 deep. But I don't discredit Gonzaga either, just because the way they play at a fast pace. I mean, they have bodies on they have guys that can come in and fill a role. So, but I do like Baylor's bench a lot better. Because you can kind of go in and out with Flagger. You can have them come in off the bench. You can start them. So I just think, I like Baylor's bench in this.
All right, MJ, if you are there, come off mute. Come on camera if you're with us. We want to bring our man MJ in live from Planet X. He's somewhere.
Hey, you catching me ordering food right now, man. Hold on, let me switch this up, man.
Hey, what's on the menu?
Right?
We got sandwiches. We got the
So
burger.
this is what we riding with right now. Because I'm better off making this decision than making who gonna win. So I'm going with the island chicken, sliders, Nashville hot with the tater tots. That's what I'm riding with right now. The libations is coming soon. I don't know what I'm gonna drink, but I'm gonna drink it. That's where we at right now. So with all that being said, though, y'all covered it. Y'all covered it like 1 second. Y'all covered it. Just want to make sure that everybody know it can go one or two ways. If Baylor makes this a defensive game and is able to keep them from shooting open threes, Baylor's going to win this game. If Gonzaga beat themselves like they've been doing, they're going to make history.
So, Jerm, I'm going to bring you back in, and then I'm going to go German and Ham. If the game is played, let's say the game is a shootout. Let's say we talk about a game that's played 85 and up. Gonzaga or Baylor if the game is played at that. If we on shootout business tonight.
Give me the Zags on the 85 and up. I think 85 is the perfect finals. I think 85 is a perfect number for if I'm the Baylor Bears. I want to keep it to 85 or lower because I want to make it grit and grind. As I pass it and transition it to Ham here, I want to make it grit and grind like it is down there at FedEx Forum. So that's what I would do if I was Baylor. But if we go above 85, it favors the Zags tonight.
You want me to tell you what I think or what I hope?
Give us both.
I think right around what Jerm said, that magic number being around 85. That's solid. What I hope, man, 109, 110. Pick a name at the hat who you want to win. I straight up don't care. I'm here for the history. Just like Trav come to have conversations with friends. I'm here for the history.
Exactly. I think one of the things that's underrated about Baylor is that Baylor is actually the leading 3-point shooting percentage team in the country. So if this does get into a firefight situation, Baylor is certainly capable of doing it. I think it's interesting though, man, because if you look at Gonzaga with Suggs, Timmy, and Kispert, like that's 60 points with them three.
Balanced breakfast.
It's a balanced breakfast with those three. But then you look on the flip side with Baylor, and it's more committee. And it's not a bad thing at all. You talk about Mitchell can get you something. Butler, T, Flagger, but Vidal. We'll either call it. I don't know. We're gonna decide what this man's name is, Vital or Vidal. I don't know. We're gonna just decide what it is.
I'm just
It's
gonna
vital,
start.
man. His name is vital because he's vital to the team. It was
Mr.
written
90.
already. He's vital to the squad.
That's
His name
his
is vital.
Vital to the squad. Hey, there you go. MJ, he is vital to the squad.
I'm calling him Mr. 95% family college.
Hey, man, let me shout out. It's great food, great ambiance. Unlike that other place that I will not speak on again. Rock with Red Star and Madison, man. Good service. She even waited for me while I did this podcast.
Shout out to her.
And waited for me to order my Long Island. She waited. She could have left. She waited. That's good service.
Hey,
that's great service.
Y'all getting to see Game Day MJ right now here on 94 Feet of Light. So,
they got to see the smoke. They think they know me, but they don't. Like, you see that? That's not a game. I'm always
not
ready.
A game.
Like, always.
Always. So we got about we're gonna stay on a couple more minutes. We got about 15 minutes before tip off, and then we gonna get out of here because y'all can't see how we act during the game. Sorry, that might be like the premium package of 94 Feet of Light. You guys just order the subscription for the premium service. You know what I'm saying? To see what goes on behind the scenes. MJ, I'm gonna start with you though. You talked about all the players. I think talk about every possible matchup. But I know MJ, you deep in the lab and you tend to find things that maybe the regular eye can't see. Something for our fans to look at that maybe isn't discussed as much that could swing the game one way or the other.
Yeah, so Davion Mitchell, Ricky Moore part 2. I don't know if he's going to take away Suggs or if he's going to take away whoever he guards is going to have a whole problem. What I also want to know is, do Pittsburgh really have a handle, or is he a byproduct of a spacious floor in which he could be able to make the right decision because he has a lot of space? Another thing that we're going to want to look at is Baylor's pressure defense. So disciplined with their rotations. They know when to rotate. They know when to let their guards have. On the other end, I'm interested in can Baylor make over threes. I know their guard play a scorer type shooter. You can't go Gonzaga is good for at least 3 runs this game. At least 3. How they keep their composure is going to determine how close this game is and ultimately determine if Baylor is going to be holding that trophy. As far as, Gonzaga goes, Coach Les has been saying it all year. Suggs is just like D-Rose. He has been head and shoulders above and beyond anybody playing the point guard position not named Cade Cunningham. So with that, can he lead his team, but keep his team composed and have answers for those droughts that they may have that Baylor University may force on them because of their stout defense?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that I'm looking at. And also the matchup between Vital and Timmy. Can Vital guard him one-on-one and Timmy don't have the crazy efficient game? All of those are interesting matchups. I'm really excited for this because it's so many chess matches involved. I don't even think we have time. By the time I'm done, it will be the first half to talk about all the chess matches that's going to be happening.
Right. Depending on what
I'm
happens.
just excited. And who better to talk to than y'all, man?
Hey, appreciate it. Hey, you know what? Depending on what happens, we may do a quick halftime live. There may be some things we may discuss with y'all. We'll see. Coach Les, I know obviously you're not in real life. You scout these things, you chart these things. We've talked about free throws at points in this tournament. We've talked about offensive rebounds at points in this tournament. Is there another number or a stat that when you're looking at, you say, okay, if this team wins this stat, they got a great chance to win, or a couple numbers for people to look at?
Second chance points. Second chance points is what you can look at in the box score, and something that's not in the box score, 50-50 balls.
Mm.
Which team is going to come up with the 50-50 balls to get an extra possession? Possessions matter, if you will. Possessions matter. So those are two things I want to see: second chance points, and 50-50 balls. And I'll throw another one in there, and this may sound redundant. But layups, making layups. When I was a young coach, my first year coaching, and we made it to the state tournament, and very, very green, fresh. I had a veteran coach send me a list of 10 things that needed to be done in order to win a state championship, because he was a state championship coach and somebody I looked to. And one of the things on there was like, you got to make layups. And and that's just where I'm at, like, finishing, second chance points, 50-50 balls, making layups. Those are things that, making layups is a skill. And it may sound like, oh, it's simple. He's 6'5", he should just be able to. Nah.
We've seen this tournament that in them tight situations that rim get a little small. On the rim get a little bit small. So that I think finishing at the basket, especially in a championship game, the nerves out of there. This is for all the money. Making finishing plays to the rim. We talked about shooting free throws 1,000 times in this tournament. So, Ham, I'm gonna bring you back in. Les is giving us some numbers to look at. MJ giving us some key points. Is there something maybe from a historical point of view, or just something a trend that people can look at in this game as well?
I mean, outside of, DMFT, don't miss free throws. And historically, though, I mean, we're looking at perfection. 45 years since we had a team go wire to wire. And according to my pops, with that Indiana team from 75, if Scott May didn't break his arm, they would have won that year too. And they was unbeaten that year, prior to them losing. That point of perfection is really what I got my highlight on. But I can't also help but, look at what Baylor's coming from where they were 18 years ago. And the climb that they made, going from, they was damn near death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up. They were damn near death penalty. Then you look up, you see a cat that looked like Lil Boosie and Tweety Carter, Lace Darius Dunn, Quincy Ace, these dudes. They get close. Then you get your Brady Hayslip, Perry Jones, those dudes. Right. They get close. This is when they were still signed with Adidas and they got the highlighter unis. All right, you know what I'm saying? It's like we really watched we watched these two programs grow up to come to this point. That's the part I think that's the coolest. We didn't get one last year, but I'm not far-fetched to believe that this would have been the title game last year. I don't think that's, it's reasonable, that could have been the case. But just the fact that we got to watch these two programs come up and grow up to where they are right now, can't get much more greater history than that, man. I have no trends, though, just DMFT, no missed free throws.
Now we get to the hard part. And I think this is honestly the most difficult part. And I'm going to start with Trav. We're going to go to Jeremy. It's real simple. Who's going to win?
Hey, man. I felt this thing out a couple weeks ago, and it's still intact. And I got Baylor in the championship winning circle, and I'm going to stick with it. So I got Baylor.
The Tang game is here. Germ. Real simple. Who wins?
Man, give me the Zags tonight, man. Give me the Zags. I'm hoping that we get what Ham said, 109 to 110. I hope we get that buzzer beater, whether it be a brick or it be that splash. In my Migos voice. I'm hoping we get that splash. And that I want to see the confetti. I want to see history. I just want a good game.
Yeah.
So we can have lovely conversations with our friends about how great this game was.
Absolutely. MJ, if you with us and you able to talk, bro, I know MJ, you don't do big on predictions. So I know you know the over under. We know we gotta do something for our people who play the numbers. We do some people I play the numbers. Over under tonight, man.
You know something? I don't know the over and under. I actually wanted to post this one pure because the basketball is so beautiful. I didn't want to cheat myself by ruining it by making it about selfish reasons.
I like that.
I want to enjoy this Long Island or two with these chicken sliders and just enjoy the basketball. If I have to make a pick, I'm rooting for Baylor, but I'm picking Gonzaga, and this reason only. When the last game Baylor lost was against Oklahoma State because they had a guard that they just couldn't do anything with. I think Jalen Suggs is on the same level of Cade Cunningham. And that's going to be the difference, along with Jalen Suggs having those weapons. But I'm rooting for Baylor. I hope Baylor wins.
I have gone throughout the course of this day. I have gone back and forth on a prediction. I honestly have flipped back and forth. So I said 3 weeks ago we did the preview. I said Gonzaga. I was rooting for history, rooting for perfection. But perfection is an awfully hard thing to get. We seen the 2007 Patriots. We saw, I don't want to bring up no bad memories, so Trav and Les, please put the mute on, if you will. But to make Trav and Les feel better, we watched Wichita State come into the tournament at 34-0 and lose to Kentucky. Perfection is such a difficult thing to do. So purely off of that, I am going to switch my prediction from 3 weeks ago. I will not be mad if Gonzaga wins. I think there is no loser. I'm not tight whoever wins, right? But something about this Baylor squad that I really, really like. It's probably my man with the mullet. Shout out Deadlift Shrimp's son. It's probably why. Give me Baylor. Give me Baylor by 5.
That because he looked like one of the Bulky brothers or something from Jim Cracker Promotions,
Hey,
World
but that dude,
Championship
is,
Wrestling.
that dude is a hooper. I don't care what nobody say. If I ever get to talk to my man Tang, I'm gonna ask him about Mullet. I'm like, where did you find him?
Dude is real NBA material. If
Dude
you
is
want an
he's
NBA player,
my favorite.
he's built for
He,
NBA.
yeah, he's my favorite player in the tournament this year. Is Magic is Chris Mullet, the Magic Mullet. So we might be back on the halftime if it's interesting. I think if this game is what we think it's gonna be, we might even do a late night joint. We'll see how it goes, man. But remember, 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. Seen Facebook fan page, the Facebook fan page, all capital letters. We are on Twitter, 94 Feet of Life 1 on Twitter, 94 FT of Life on Instagram. We are everywhere. Germ, Trav, Coach Les, Ham, MJ checking in from the sports bar. Hey, enjoy the game. 94 Feet of Life basketball for the people, by the people. We out of here.